It is the final week of the regular season, and we still have so much to play for in terms of seedings for the playoffs. Heading into this week, the number 1 and number 2 spots are decided, but below them, the Latios and Appletuns are fighting for that number 3 spot. The Latios cannot finish outside the top 4, but the Appletun can drop to 5th with a 2-0 defeat and a 2-0 Dogis win. 6th to 8th is another interesting battle. With win, the Articunos will secure 6th. But with an Articuno's loss and a Woobats win, they can take it. The Politoeds can overtake the Woobats with a win over the Dirge and a Woobats 2-0 defeat. This is how the bracket stands right now. We have a ton to get through this week, so let's get right into it. There was some unfortunate injury news heading into the week, with TCL's attempt to surgically enhance himself to gain any advantage heading into the playoffs ending in disaster, almost losing a thumb and having to forfeit the match versus the Appletun. Leave it to the professionals, folks, or just stick to drugs like a normal cheat. With that, the Appletun secure the number 3 spot, and the Latios need to hope for a Dogis defeat, hang on to that number 4. The Dogis, of course, needed to get past Coach C and the Archeops, still looking for their first win of the season. Fortunately, we weren't granted our fairy tale end of the season. The Dogis ran out 2-0 winners, overtaking the cheating Latios to secure that number 4 spot. Politoeds faced off against the San Diego Skeledirge, knowing that a win could lift them up to 7th and force the Woobats to have to face the piss 2 weeks in a row. Coach Chris has already masterminded a victory over the Dogis and won 2 in a row heading into this crunch showdown. Unfortunately for the viewers, yet again Otter decided to bend league rules to his own needs and the match was played on Showdown. It is the exact team we see every week really since the transfer deadline for Chris. Ogerpon, Gholdengo, and Gliscor, Frostlass, Chi-Yu. On the other side, we do not see a Sylveon. We instead see a Mamoswine. That is interesting. I'm not entirely sure Sylveon would be the call in this matchup. It's only really good into Chi-Yu, whereas Mamo can hit Gholdengo, Hands, and Chi-Yu. It's also good into Ogerpon. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun battle. We see Rotom and Babel versus Ogerpon and Frostlass. There's a follow me. Icy Wind, damn that Frostlass is fast. He drops all round. Hornleech into the Clefable. Nasty plot from the Wishy-Washy. That is now a scary Wishy-Washy. Comes Gholdengo, ready to make it rain. Double swap into the Iron Hands. Another follow me. What's his Rotom going to do? Thunderbolt into the Dingo. Ow, that's a lot of damage. Terra Fairy Dingo. Wishy-Washy protects. Dazzling Gleam from the Terra Fairy. Almost KOs the Clefable. The Drain Punch does. Wonder why he went for D-Gleam and not Make It Rain there. Comes the Zapdos. The Burb is on the field. And there's the Frostlass. Brave Bird. Oh ho ho ho! One hit KO. Even resisted. That is nuts. Hydro Pump into Bulban. Takes it just below half. Wild Charge into the wash. Rocking the Citrus Berry. Return of the Ogre. Terra Dragon on the Wishy-Washy. Bird takes out the Ogre. Ow! This thing does so much damage. Wild Charge finishes off the Bird after it already reduced itself to about 30% HP. Hydro Pump finishes off Iron Hands. It's now just that Terra Fairy Gholdengo versus Wash and whatever Otter's fourth is. It is the Heatran. This is going to be tough. There's the Dazzling Gleam. Gets rid of the Wishy-Washy. Flash Cannon finishes it off. Game 1 goes to Otter. Game 2. We have Greatest Tusk and Roaring Mid versus Gholdengo and Frostlass. Which the speed as usual and Terra Ground straight away. That Icy Wind does almost half to that Tusk. Knockoff. One shot the Frostlass. Gholdengo makes it rain. Doesn't quite get the KO on Roaring Mid, but takes out the Mammo. Out comes Iron Hands. Staring down that Burb again. Resisted Brave Bird doesn't do a great deal. Breaking Swipe also resisted, but crucially drops the attack. Make it rain. Oof! That's ridiculous damage. Wild Charge finishes off the Bird. This is a fast game. So hard to keep up. Wishy-Washy takes the field. Not long for this world. Here's a Chi-Yu. Ah, Sash Chi-Yu. That Wishy-Washy bulky takes the Wild Charge easily. Switch to Gholdengo and Chi-Yu protects. Dark Pulse from Chi-Yu almost picks up the KO. Rocks the Citrus Berry. Make it rain with no more stat drops. Finishes it off. Game 3. There's the Mammo again. And the Roaring Moon again. Gholdengo once more. The Frostlass. So same leads as game 2. This time Terra Ghost from Roaring Mid and Terra Fairy from the Gholdengo. Tusk protects. Icy Wind. Tailwind. Oh, that's a good call. That Dazzling Gleam still hurts. GU hits the field. Knock off. Gets rid of the sash that was already broken. High horsepower misses on the Gholdengo. Dazzling Gleam almost cleans the field. Heatran comes out. Swap to Iron Hands. GU Protect. Tusk with the horsepower into the protected GU. Flash Cannon into the Iron Hands. Doesn't do a great deal. Zapdos hits the field. GU doesn't get the double. Earth Power finishes it off. Drain Punch from the Iron Hands almost KOs. Hellwind is now gone. Frostlass returns. Frostlass is fastest thing there? Wow. Activates the Defiant with that Icy Wind. Great Bird comes out, finishes it off, but gets disabled. Wild Charge finishes off the bird. Flash Cannon into the Iron Hands, still resisted. Life Orb takes out the Heatran. We have Gholdengo and Iron Hands versus the near-death mammal. Horsepower doesn't pick up the KO. Dazzling Gleam comes out and Politoeds shock the world. What a turnaround. It's so hard to keep up with these showdown battles because there's no pause between turns, but holy smokes. I'm guessing that Zapdos wasn't scarfed. I'm not great at remembering my speed tiers, but I swear scarfed Zapdos should outspeed even a scarfed Frostlass. But that Frostlass scarfed Icy Wind is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Really, really well played by Chris there. Just taking down Otter is no easy feat. Unfortunately, despite that shocking victory, the Politoeds, because the standings are based on match win-loss differential, not match wins that is stated on the table, they couldn't in fact overtake the Woobats, even with a 2-0, because of the gulf in kill-death differential. The Woobats versus Prismatic Shards does have its own video linked in the description, but TLDR, in a ridiculously close battle that ended with a 9-9 kill-death tie, Woobats prevented the unbeaten season and secured at least the 7th seed. But with an Articuno's loss to the Blazing Brelooms, could take the number 6 seed. With other results this week, the Articunos knew with a victory they would be playing the Appletun. Defeat would mean facing reigning champion Otter, with the Woobats facing the opponent the Articunos don't. Once again, we get both sides of the Tommy match. How privileged. Blazing Brelooms versus the Hacks of Tommy, Alaskan Articuno. This is going to be a close battle, I think. I was about to say two very interesting teams, but I'm pretty sure that's the same 6 as Star Street brought last week. Still, I'm not sure about the Haxorus into team with Baxcalibur. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure Baxcalibur can sweep. Icicle Spear for Rillaboom, Icicle Spear for Thundurus. Icicle Spear for Haxorus. I'm pretty sure Icicle Spear will take care of Mimikyu as well. Thundurus can take care of Toadette and Basculegion. I'm pretty sure that lead dynamic duo can sweep this entire match. That's crazy. I'm not sure the rain is going to be great here. It'll reduce the fire damage of Iron Moth. Outside of that, yeah, this is going to be a tough one, because Basculegion can put out a lot of damage in the rain, but there's nothing really weak to it beyond that moth. And then on the other side of the field, you've got Thundurus and Jugulis that can just outright KO it. Thundurus is good into the mirror because Thundurus Therian is faster than Thundurus Incarnate. You can outspeed, drop a T-Bolt on it, probably delete it from the game. Mimikyu is probably really good here. Play rough into Bax, play rough into Jugulis, play rough into, well, basically half of their team. The only thing that play rough from Mimikyu isn't going to severely damage is the moth. I'm not sure about Rilla here. There's too much for Rilla to worry about. I think I'd be leaving Rilla at home. I definitely wouldn't have brought the dragon into this matchup. Let's take a look, because yeah, on Tommy's side, I'm not sure where Conkeldurr comes into things. The ball's pretty good because getting Intimidate down on the Rillaboom, the Basculegion, the Mimikyu, the Haxorus. That's a good shout. Jugulis is pretty good into, as I've said, the Rillaboom. It's good into the Basculegion. The Moth is pretty good into a lot here because it's got some decent coverage. So yeah, this is going to be a close one. Tommy is cutting this one fine, but he made it. Game 1 of the final match of the season. Of the regular season. And Jugulis Baxcalibur on lead for Tommy. Rillaboom and Thundurus for the Blazing Brelooms. Oh, this does not look good. Terra from Tommy into the Jugulis. Terra Grass. Okay. Not sure about that one, Chief. Protect on the Baxcalibur. Fake out. Goes into the backs. Snarl from Thundurus. Connects. Tailwind. Oh, that's a covert cloak. Jugulis. No stat drop. Thundurus switches out into the Politoed. Letting up the rain. would have expected, and there's a snarl for, he was avoiding the snarl. Icicle Spear into what was the Thunderous slot, now into the resisting Politoed. Not very effective. High horsepower into the Baxcalibur. Perhaps expecting the Terrifier. Another snarl comes out. Crit on the Toad. Icicle Spear into the Rillaboom this time. 2. Third one's going to get it. Bye bye, Monkey Man. Icy Wind from the Politoed. It's going to deal decent. No, actually, no, it's not going to deal decent damage to that Jugulas. That's a bulky Jugulas. That did nothing. Wow. Out comes Bubba the Fish. Baxcalibur switches out into his own Thunderous. Helping Hand. Snarl from Jugulas. Super effective. Another crit on that Toad. Last Respect into the Thundy. Helping Hand. Last Respect, and it still lives. What the heck? That's crazy. Now Jugulas is almost back to full health. It's just been sitting there the entire game. Tailwind is gone, but I don't see a way for Starstreak to stop a second Tailwind going up. Jugulas is insane. It's not pumping out huge amounts of damage, but it's just sitting there in true Tommy fashion, being bulky and annoying as hell. Basculegion switches out. Good call. In comes Thunderous. Sunny day. Oh. There's a snarl. If this was Weatherball on Politoed, we could see some trouble. No, it's just an Icy Wind. Again, not doing a lot of damage. He's got his own bulky, annoying Pokemon there, but it's not quite as bulky as that Iron Jugulas. Grass disappears now. Terra Flying Thunderous. Terra Blast. Helping Hands. Terra Blast into that Jugulas. Coming up. Yep. There it is. There it goes. No Baxcalibur on the field. True Revenge KO. Safest Terra Blast in his life. But there's the Thunderbolt into the Politoed. Politoed goes bye-bye. But now we have... first we have Baxcalibur returning to the field. Now we have Basculegion in the sun. How unfortunate. That was just great late game Thundy from Tommy. got that Politoed down to decently low health, which in his own Thunderous, get out the sun, get rid of the Politoed. Here's a Terra Blast into backs. It is resisted. It's not actually, it's neutral. Okay, Icicle Spear though. Yeah. 2 shots, down it goes. Protected Basculegion going to live one more turn. But the end is nigh. Who's he going to take down with him though? Last respect, Excalibur goes. Thunderbolt finishes the job. Game 1 goes to Tommy, which I was about to say without many hacks, but he got so many little snarl crits on that Politoed that, yeah, I'm gonna call it Tommy hacks. Tommy hacks. Tommy hacks. I'm not really sure how Starstreak can play this differently. I was surprised not to see the Mimikyu. I would probably have brought the Mimikyu over Rillaboom. Because other than fake out pressure, Rillaboom doesn't really add anything to this matchup. It's got the high horsepower for the Iron Moth or a Terrifier backs, but you've got Basculegion and you've got Politoed that can deal with that. So the Rillaboom is kind of being carried. It's very weak to almost everything on the other side of the field. So Mimikyu makes the most sense. He played his Thunderous really well in that game 1 though. I, perhaps with me being overly aggressive, would have traded Thunderous for Jugular on that turn 2. Terra Flying, Terra Blast, take out the Terra Grass Jugulus. Thunderous then goes down to the Icicle Spear from backs, but Starstreak made the better play, preserving it. The Jugular, they'd already got up the Tailwind. The Jugulus wasn't really doing a great deal. Yeah, like I say, the main issue for me was the Rillaboom. Tommy, I think, could have accelerated the game a bit better. Jugulus just kind of sat there, chipping away, dropping special attack with snarls. It didn't really do a great deal beyond that. Like I say, it was bulky, it was annoying, but it wasn't really contributing much beyond being a pimple on the ass of the game. I think switching that out into something with a bit more damage that could accelerate things a little bit more might have been better. Who am I to complain? He won game 1. So let's get into game 2. Game 2, can Starstreak turn this one around? We see Rillaboom and Haxorus facing down the backs and jugulars once again. Yeah. Axorus probably not the best call here. Jugulars protects. Excalibur protects. Obviously scouting out what Starstreak wants to do here. Fake Out was going into the jugular, but we knew from game 1 was Covert Cloaked. Dragon Dance. Okay. Getting himself speedy, getting himself strong. Rillaboom switches out into Dodet. More rain once again. Terror from the Articuno into... Oh no, that was from Starstreak into the Haxorus. Terror Fairy Haxorus. There's the Terror from the Articuno into Baxcalibur. Terra Electric Baxcalibur. Ooh. Let's hope this isn't an earthquake. Oh, it's a rock slide. Okay. A lot of damage on that Jugular. But there goes the Tailwind. Jugular did his job. Bax flinched. Protect on the Haxorus. Air Slash into the Haxorus slot. Icicle Spear into the Haxorus slot. Great protect call there by Starstreak. Icy Wind from Politoed doesn't have enough to take out the Jugulars. There's too much bulk and not enough damage on that Politoed. There's a helping hand from the Politoed. Air Slash takes it below half and gets a flinch. Icicle Spear. 2, 3. I'm not sure how much the flinch mattered there. Depends what it was going for. I'm surprised it still outsped Bax in Tailwind though, with +1. Bax is kind of slow. Back comes the Rillaboom. Jugular protect, sensible. Fake Up probably would KO it. And there's a protect from the Baxcalibur as well. High horsepower into the Bax. There's the Icy Wind. Tailwind ends. Grass disappears. Tailwind goes up. Icicle Spear. 1, 2. Yeah, should be enough. 3 and 4. Icy Wind from the Politoed, going to take out that Jugulars. Ah, wait, yes, that's why it outsped the Bax in Tailwind. Icy Wind, speed drop. I forgot the Icy Wind speed drop. Dundee versus Dundee. Helping hand. Thunderbolt into the Volt Absorb. Raw Terror Blast into the Baxcalibur. Not enough, even with the helping hand. Icicle Spear. Big crit on the first one. I mean, he's getting all of the hacks this game. Thunderbolt. Doesn't quite finish off the Politoed. Terra Electric. Terra Blast. Backs. Cleans up. That mon is ridiculous. Week complete. Regular season over. Here are the playoff brackets. Every match is an absolute banger. The streaking Politoeds take on the near invincible Ice Shards. Two Goliaths clash in Latios versus the Dogis. Woobats face the reigning champion coach. The resurgent Articunos take on the rock-steady Appletun. I guess it's time for predictions then? Starting with the A side of the bracket. Prismatic Ice Shards versus Philadelphia Politoeds. In my opinion, this is probably the toughest match to call in the entire bracket. Weens has been so consistent all season and very, very difficult to take down. But the Politoeds have so much momentum right now. Chris seems to have figured out how to get the best out of his ridiculously powerful Core 4. I'm going with the upset on this one. Ohio City Dogis versus New York Latios. This is another really close match that could honestly go either way. But I think Twim and the Dogis will sneak it if, and honestly, I think only if, Twim can bring the sort of aggression and initiative that they did versus me. If Twim can put TCL on the back foot early and keep the pressure on, the Dogis take the win. This would give us a semi-final of Politoeds versus Dogis. And I think this is where the resurgence of the Politoeds ends. The Dogis have the firepower to overwhelm them. Overquill has a great matchup into Ogerpon, and it can clear the way for Urshifu and Pelipper to sweep, taking the OCD to the final. On the other side of the bracket, let's start with yours truly. The Welsh Woobats versus the San Diego Skeledirge. This is going to be as difficult, if not more difficult, than facing the piss. Otter, as much as I hate to admit it, is a very, very good player and a great team builder. But I've got to back myself. Surely it's probably a bit overconfident, but I honestly think we can do it. We for sure have the tools. Appletun versus Articunos. This is going to be incredible to watch. Wheeze has been so consistent all season long, just quietly going about the business of winning. Tommy, on the other hand, has gone from being the best pitcher in the league to a 5-match win streak. And that momentum and the confidence that gains will carry the Articunos through this match. They have the tools to handle anything that Wheeze throws at them. It's just a case of coming up with a game plan and executing it. This gives us a semi-final matchup of Welsh Woobats versus Alaskan Articuno. And while I am supremely confident I could get revenge for the earlier defeat, I have to face the reality that I always lose to Tommy Hacks. Always. It doesn't matter what team I'm playing, how well I'm playing. And with that, we get a final of the Alaskan Articuno versus the Ohio City Dogis. And this is where I think pitcher Tommy returns. and he utterly chokes on the biggest stage of them all. So my pick to win the whole damn show is Twimberly and the Ohio City Doggies.